Just picking some cherry tomatoes. I'm gonna experiment with fermentation. I've got a bunch of these today, so they're not gonna last forever fresh. So I'm gonna try to preserve them. Okay, I think I've got almost enough to fill out my jar. I've got some more in the house in the sink waiting to be rinsed. Just give it a good swish, just really nice and clean. So I went ahead and bought this kitchen scale. It was only $10 at the grocery store. It's not as accurate or fancy as the digital scales, but it will definitely do the trick for what I'm doing. So I'm going to load these into the jar. By the way, I have this scale tiered to include the weight of the jar, so I'm just going to get the weight of the contents of the jar and then measure. Is this going to fit just perfect or what? I'm just going to grab some spring water here. So I just need enough to cover the tomatoes with a little bit of space up above. I'm going to add the water to the jar. That looks like just the right amount. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the water out of the jar once I read how much this weighs. So we're going to say it's about 750 grams. It doesn't have to be super exact. And I'm going to take the water out of the jar. Tomatoes to go in there, but anyways. So now I need to find out what 2.5% of 750 is, and that works out to almost 19 grams. So I need almost 19 grams of salt. Okay, so each tick on this scale is 40 grams, so I need less than half a tick. That's the only thing that kind of sucks about using a scale. It's not super sensitive, but I think we can get pretty close. That should do it. Now I'm going to put the salt in the water so I can dissolve it. Okay, that looks like it's pretty dissolved. I'm gonna put that back in there. Now you gotta use salt that doesn't have any anti-caking agents in it, so it can't be like iodized salt or anything, it has to be natural salt. And I am using coarse pickling salt. It's just what I have on hand, so I figure that should be good. Okay, so now we have to keep the tomatoes underneath the water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a Ziploc bag, I'm going to put it inside the jar, I'm going to press it in there, kind of spread it out a little bit. And then I'm going to fill the bag a little bit with water, and that's going to weigh it down. So to push the tomatoes down under the water, just make sure they're all nice and in there. Cool. This is my first time trying anything like this, but I know that we want to get all the air out because we are trying to create an anaerobic environment for these tomatoes to ferment in. So that looks alright. Anything getting in here, or like any dust or anything like that, so I am going to put the lid on. I'm going to do it very loosely because as things ferment, they will ventilate some nice gases. Alright, so I think that's ready to go away. So I'm going to carefully put that up here in my top cupboard. So I'm going to put it up in the cupboard, and I should probably label the jar so I don't forget what day it is. Here we go. Lid's nice and loose. Come back and check those in a bit. Maybe 3 days or so. Fermenting stuff. So I've got 6-day ferment, 7 days, and about a week and a half. So I did film the tomatoes, putting those into the jar, but I didn't bother with the rest of these because I wasn't sure if I was doing it right. So I'm gonna check them out right now and see what happened. Alright, so I got a little bit of mold just on top of the baggie that was used as a weight. A little spot there, but it wasn't on any of the produce itself. That's alright. Might let this go maybe longer. Bubbling happening in here. It smells good. I'm gonna use a clean fork actually. Yeah. Oh wow, that's really good. These have been fermenting for about a week, and I think I'm gonna stop these ones now and put them in the fridge because they taste really, really good. But I'm gonna leave the other jar that's still in the cupboard, I think, maybe for a few more days and see if they'll get a little bit more of a zing to them. These are really good. So I have another one. They're really good. Not too salty. Salt's perfect. Okay. Try this stale cauliflower ferment. Again, one of the little floaty bits on top of the baggie has a little bit of mold. I did put onion in this one. You can definitely smell that. Okay, I want to get that bitty out of there. Sink. There's a couple more little bitties. Just want to get those out. So again, I'm going to pick a clean fork just in case I decide I'm not done fermenting these yet. And let me find a nice little piece.
Very salty. I don't think that's quite ready yet. I put probably about a quarter of a small onion in there. I can tell you that's definitely more than enough. Wow. Very salty though. So, yeah, I'm gonna put those back in the cupboard for a bit. So I'm gonna get a brand new clean bag, and I'm going to push the vegetables back down under the water. But first I'm gonna get the rest of those little floaties out so that they don't go moldy. And I think I'm gonna put this one back up in the cupboard. Well, maybe for another few days. Maybe even a whole other week. So basically I'm just using what I have on hand. Just some water. Clean Ziploc bag. And push everything back down under the water.
Yeah, well, we're shy of quarter now. Sorry. But here, look at these little baby ones too. We're gonna need more area.
You got more corn? You got squash.
Yeah, that's all done.
So I'm just using the Ziploc bag with the water in it to weigh everything back down. And then I seal it back up, and then I'm going to put that one back in the cupboard.
Okay.
These ones are not quite done yet. That is this one. That's going to go back up there. It's not quite ready yet. Yeah, I did it. My very first successful ferment of something. They're really, really tasty, and I'm really excited about these. That is awesome. So definitely I'm gonna do cucumbers again. Amazing. They taste just like the kosher pickles that you get in the fridge at the grocery store. Only better, of course, because we made them ourselves. Okay, so the tomatoes, these were the first ones to start, but I feel like really they need more time, probably because of the skins on them. So I'm gonna put these back up as well. I'm gonna make sure that there's nothing floating on top so that we don't get any mold or anything growing on top. So these guys are a little bit more of a challenge to get everybody to stay down in there because they really want to float. So you really got to push them down at the same time that you're adding the water. Sort of hope they just stay down underneath the water. Put the lid back on that. Okay, it's a whole other week later, so 2 weeks now on the cauliflower. They are perfect, and just a little over 2 weeks on the tomatoes too, so I'm gonna stop those anyways. I haven't tried them yet, but these are amazing. I've got onions in there with them, and they turned out really, really good, so I'm happy with those. And today I'm putting in a bunch more cucumbers. I found these awesome looking amber jars that keeps out the daylight, so I can leave those on the counter if I run out of cupboard space. So far so good. I am definitely going to continue with fermenting because I really, really enjoy the product that I'm getting.